Hello everyone, my name is Connor Frank and I'm from the Honors Program here at Midland, and today I'm going to be telling you about the stories of immigration. So this semester throughout the Honors Program, we've been learning about many different aspects of immigration, and so I took this a step farther and decided to actually interview a few people and learn a little bit more through articles and stories. And so through this, I was able to learn a lot of different aspects of immigration. And so some of these kind of include language, culture, family, friends, inspiration, and hope. I also have the need to explain that none of these stories are mine. They are all interviews that I had with other people or stories that I have read in books and articles. So presenting these stories without bias is definitely hard just because they aren't my life, and it was definitely interesting to see the different aspects of immigration told through other stories that are completely different from mine. I was definitely able to learn a lot this interterm as I had traveled to Italy, and that really started my research as I was interested in hearing what other people had to say about traveling to different countries and especially living in them. So I started out my research by reading many different articles and books about immigration. And so those eventually led me to start doing a few interviews with people. So on my list, I have a bunch of different people that I got in contact with either over the phone, in person, or through social media in order to ask about their stories of immigration. So many people on the list, such as Annie, Peter, Tony, and Bo, are family relatives who are very close and I usually talk to often. Another person on the list I'd like to mention was Paula because she's a classmate of mine in the nursing program, and so I was able to ask her questions throughout the semester. The other three, which are Anna, Momo, and Renan, are actually family friends of mine, and we're able to talk. And then Chad is actually a Spanish teacher that my mom knows. All of these interviews gave me different perspectives into immigration that I had never thought of, and each of them had their own aspects that also made their stories very unique and different from each other. And so it was very cool to hear all of their different stories, especially some people that had moved multiple times or decided they wanted to move back to their home country. I really liked hearing Annie and Peter's story because they are a married couple that moved to the US for about 3 years and then moved back to Denmark. They decided that they wanted to go back to Denmark because that's where they were originally from. I've never really asked them why they immigrated, but it was interesting to hear their stories and how they adjusted to the US culture and decided that it was better to go back to Denmark. One of the articles I'd like to mention is the second one on the list that is titled Immigrant Story Archive. This is a bunch of different stories that immigrants are able to post on this website to tell the hard truth of immigration. Made into America is a program that is able to reach out to different immigrants in order for them to tell their stories so people are able to understand them and eliminate the judgment behind immigration. And so this was definitely cool to be able to read so many different stories from so many different time periods and countries. Overall, the project was really interesting to see how everyone had a different story, but yet they were also similar in their hardships and successes. And so, throughout all of this, it was also hard to keep out my bias and judgment just because I've never been able to experience immigration. And so, hearing all these different immigration stories really expanded my horizons in what I've been able to learn about different immigration stories. So in the future, I kind of hope that people will challenge themselves to ask about immigration because it's a great way to learn about others and their hardships.